Hello, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here with you today. Thanks for showing up and for being willing to lean into this conversation. What I'm about to talk about may challenge us, but I believe it's worth diving into. Today, I want to talk about boundaries, not just in the classic sense, but in terms of protecting some of the most personal parts of ourselves. There are aspects of our lives that, if left exposed, can leave us feeling vulnerable, shaken, and frankly, a little lost. So, what are three things we should hold close? Three things we should consider never sharing with anyone. When we think of our deepest fears, they often stem from places we don't readily show the world. These are not the superficial worries or day-to-day concerns, but the truths about ourselves that bring us discomfort, the thoughts that make us question who we are, or the insecurities that keep us up at night. While it's natural to want to share and unload our fears, not everyone around us is equipped to handle or honor them. There's a certain responsibility in deciding whom to trust with these delicate parts of ourselves. Another common fear is the fear of rejection or abandonment. It's that quiet, pervasive worry that we might not be worthy of love or belonging if others knew who we truly were. This fear often forms in early life and, if not carefully protected, can grow and linger, shaping our adult relationships. When we expose such a fear too openly, or to the wrong people, it can trigger unkind responses from indifference to pity that don't offer the support we seek. The pain of unreciprocated vulnerability can deepen this fear and make us hesitant to trust in the future, closing us off from genuine connection with those who might truly understand. Then there's the fear of inadequacy, a feeling that who we are or what we bring to the table might never be enough. In a world that often measures worth by external achievements, the fear of inadequacy can be a persistent companion. Sharing this fear without caution can invite well-intended fixes or comparisons that might make us feel judged rather than supported. While sharing our struggles can sometimes bring comfort, it's important to recognize that not everyone will meet us with the empathy or understanding we need. Some may misinterpret our vulnerability as a lack of strength, potentially making us feel even less competent. In moments when we choose to share, we expose not just our words, but our core, allowing others a view into our raw humanity. Those who are unprepared or unwilling to honor this experience can leave us feeling diminished, questioning our value and worth. There's power in knowing when to hold back, in realizing that our fears are our own to navigate, to process, and ultimately to overcome. This doesn't mean that we should isolate ourselves, but rather that we approach sharing with discernment, honoring both the fragility and strength of our inner lives. Our fears are often lessons in resilience, reminders of our capacity to move forward despite the unknown. When we protect these truths, choosing to share them only with those who understand their significance, we build a foundation of self-trust. This guardedness isn't about secrecy. It's about preserving the dignity of our own growth and understanding that some aspects of ourselves deserve reverence and careful stewardship. Our core values are the principles that shape who we are, defining what we stand for and how we interact with the world. These values might include integrity, compassion, courage, or loyalty, and they serve as a compass guiding our decisions and relationships. Sharing our values openly can seem like a way to build connection and find common ground with others. However, not everyone will understand or respect these personal principles, and indiscriminate sharing can sometimes invite misunderstanding, criticism, or even manipulation. When we reveal our core values, we're sharing what's deeply meaningful to us, expressing what gives our life purpose and direction. If these values aren't respected, it can feel like a personal rejection. For example, if integrity is one of our core values and we share this with someone who doesn't view honesty as essential, we might find ourselves challenged or even dismissed for taking things too seriously. This can create tension, as those values are often non-negotiable parts of who we are. When they're questioned, it can lead us to doubt ourselves or feel pressured to compromise our beliefs to fit in or be understood, even though our values define our sense of right and wrong. Another risk in sharing our values too openly is the possibility of being manipulated. Some people, especially those with their own agendas, might use our values to influence or control our actions. For instance, if kindness is a guiding principle for us, others may play on that generosity to ask for more than we're willing or able to give. They might try to guilt us into action, knowing that kindness is a priority for us. In these moments, our values are no longer a source of strength and guidance, but something used to test our boundaries and sometimes even weaken our resolve. Being cautious about when and with whom we share these values helps protect us from those who might not have our best interests at heart. Core values also drive our goals and purpose, connecting us to the people and pursuits that align with our vision of a good life. When we share them with those who don't understand or respect them, we might experience an unspoken pressure to conform or shift our values for the sake of harmony. For instance, if you value personal growth and those around you prioritize stability over growth, your ambitions and dreams may be dismissed or belittled. This can create inner conflict, leading you to question the authenticity or importance of your values. Furthermore, values represent our deepest priorities. They're not just fleeting ideas, but the beliefs that we consistently return to, the foundation of our identity. When we make them visible to others who don't share the same respect, it can make us vulnerable to feeling isolated or misunderstood. Sharing selectively doesn't mean we're hiding our values, but rather ensuring that we're surrounded by people who are capable of valuing and supporting our principles. True alignment with others comes from a place of mutual respect, where our core beliefs are accepted and encouraged, not questioned or disregarded. Protecting our core values is, in essence, protecting our true selves. It's about honoring the principles that keep us grounded, that remind us of who we are and who we want to be. Not everyone needs to have access to that, and by choosing carefully when and with whom to share these values, we foster relationships that affirm our beliefs rather than undermine them. In doing so, we create a circle of trust and authenticity, where our values are safe, respected, and able to thrive. Future plans are often our dreams in action, our intentions and ambitions waiting to take shape in reality. They may include career goals, personal milestones, or aspirations for self-improvement. These are the dreams we carry quietly, often working toward them for years with focus and resilience. While it might be tempting to share these plans with others, especially when we're excited or proud of our visions, there are risks to making our future ambitions widely known. Not everyone will understand, support, or respect them, and sharing prematurely can sometimes hinder rather than help us achieve our goals. When we reveal our plans too early, we expose ourselves to external opinions, which can often dilute our confidence. Everyone brings their own biases, experiences, and assumptions to the table, and some people may respond to our dreams with skepticism or even criticism. These responses can be discouraging, especially when they come from people we trust. A simple "Are you sure that's realistic?" or "I don't think that's a good idea" can plant seeds of doubt that might disrupt our motivation. It's easy to internalize these comments even when we're determined, and that self-doubt can weaken our resolve, making us second-guess the decisions that once felt so certain. Sharing future plans can also invite unnecessary pressure. Once others are aware of our goals, they may start asking about our progress, expecting updates and success stories. If we encounter setbacks, this can become uncomfortable, as we may feel obligated to explain delays or justify decisions that others may not fully understand. This type of scrutiny can transform what should be an inspiring journey into a burdensome performance. Instead of focusing on the process and making adjustments as needed, we might feel compelled to prioritize appearance over authenticity, attempting to meet others' expectations rather than staying true to our original vision. Moreover, not everyone will have our best interests at heart. In sharing our ambitions, we sometimes reveal our competitive edge, inadvertently encouraging others to measure themselves against us or even to undermine our progress. This isn't to say that people are inherently unsupportive, but rather that we are all navigating our own paths, and sometimes other successes or dreams can trigger insecurities. For example, sharing a business idea, a new project, or a personal goal may inspire others, but it might also prompt some to question their own paths and even, in rare cases, to discourage us so they feel more comfortable. These responses, even if unintentional, can create unnecessary friction and hinder our ability to pursue our dreams with the focus and freedom we need. Our future plans are also deeply personal because they reflect our vision of what fulfillment and success mean to us. Sharing them too openly exposes that vision to people who may not value the same things, who may prioritize different outcomes, and who may not understand the sacrifices and commitment our dreams demand. Sometimes others may attempt to correct our ambitions, offering advice that doesn't resonate or attempting to sway our vision. These well-meaning but misaligned suggestions can distract us from our path, making us question the very things that inspire us most. Over time, if we're not careful, we might find ourselves shaping our plans to fit someone else's version of success, losing sight of what initially mattered to us. When we keep our plans close to our chest, we give ourselves the freedom to explore, to make mistakes, and to grow without external expectations or judgment. By sharing them selectively with only those who genuinely support us, we create a safe space for our dreams to evolve. Our future plans are precious and deserve careful stewardship. They represent what we are capable of, the horizons we want to reach, and the legacy we hope to build. Protecting these plans isn't about secrecy, it's about honoring our journey, keeping our dreams as sacred commitments we make to ourselves. This way, we can pursue them with clarity, resilience, and an unshakable belief in their importance. Boundaries and inner strength are closely linked, forming the foundation of personal well-being and resilience. Boundaries define where we end and others begin. They are the lines that protect our mental, emotional, and physical health. They represent our willingness to take care of ourselves by saying no when needed, setting limits, and communicating our needs with clarity. In essence, boundaries are the safeguards that support our inner strength, helping us to stay true to ourselves while navigating a world that can sometimes feel demanding or invasive. When we set boundaries, we honor our own needs, values, and priorities. This isn't about being inflexible or closed off, but about ensuring we don't overextend ourselves in ways that drain our energy or undermine our goals. Strong boundaries allow us to conserve our inner resources, giving us the space to focus on what truly matters. In a society that often equates self-worth with self-sacrifice, boundaries are acts of courage, enabling us to protect our time, energy, and emotional balance. By saying no to things that don't align with our values, we strengthen our sense of self, reducing the risk of burnout and enhancing our ability to give generously in the right contexts. Boundaries also prevent others from dictating our lives. Without them, we may find ourselves easily swayed by external opinions or expectations, constantly adjusting our actions to please others or avoid conflict. This can be exhausting, as we're essentially relinquishing control over our own choices. When we have clear boundaries, we develop a healthier relationship with ourselves and those around us. We can interact with others from a place of authenticity rather than obligation or fear of judgment. Setting boundaries enables us to show up in relationships as our true selves, building connections based on mutual respect rather than dependency or compliance. Creating boundaries isn't always easy, especially with people close to us or in environments where boundaries aren't respected. It requires the inner strength to tolerate discomfort, assert ourselves, and sometimes face pushback. Yet by setting and respecting these limits, we build resilience. Boundaries give us the courage to confront situations or relationships that are unhealthy, while also giving us the ability to embrace positive experiences without losing ourselves in them. Over time, this strengthens our ability to handle life's challenges as we become more attuned to when to say yes and when to say no, trusting our instincts without hesitation. Inner strength is about knowing who we are, and boundaries allow us to live in harmony with that knowledge. They protect our identity and autonomy, ensuring that our actions are driven by choice rather than compulsion. When we exercise this level of self-awareness and self-respect, we cultivate an inner peace that isn't easily shaken by external circumstances. By establishing boundaries, we're creating an environment in which our inner strength can thrive, where we feel empowered to pursue our goals, develop our passions, and nurture the relationships that bring us joy and fulfillment. Boundaries and inner strength form a feedback loop, with each reinforcing the other. The stronger our boundaries, the more we trust ourselves, and the more we trust ourselves, the stronger our boundaries become. This dynamic allows us to lead a balanced life, rooted in self-respect and purpose, where we are neither overburdened by others' demands nor isolated by self-protection. Instead, we find a balance that empowers us to engage meaningfully with the world, while staying true to the values, goals, and relationships that bring our lives depth and fulfillment. Personal growth and reflection are essential to becoming the best version of ourselves. Growth happens when we continually strive to improve, to learn, and to evolve beyond past limitations. Reflection is the process of looking inward, examining our thoughts, actions, and beliefs. Together, they create a cycle that helps us develop a deeper understanding of who we are and where we want to go, making us more resilient, adaptable, and aligned with our true selves. Personal growth often begins with recognizing areas in ourselves we want to improve. This isn't about self-criticism, but about having the courage to look at ourselves honestly. Growth requires us to step outside our comfort zones, to challenge our assumptions, and to confront behaviors or attitudes that may be holding us back. It's a journey of gradual change where every small improvement adds to the larger picture of who we are becoming. Through continuous learning and a willingness to adapt, we can refine our character, develop new skills, and embrace opportunities that we once thought were beyond our reach. Reflection is what allows us to assess our growth. It is the pause that lets us look back on our experiences and extract lessons from them. Reflection provides the space to evaluate our choices and ask ourselves why we acted in certain ways. This process helps us understand our motivations, clarifying whether our actions are aligned with our values and goals. By regularly reflecting on our lives, we gain a clearer sense of direction, noticing patterns in our behavior that either serve us well or need adjustment. Reflection doesn't just point out what we've done, but invites us to consider how we can do things differently moving forward. Growth and reflection are intertwined. Without reflection, our growth may be aimless. Without growth, reflection becomes repetitive. Reflection brings intention to our growth, ensuring that we aren't just changing, but are improving in ways that matter to us. As we reflect, we can celebrate our progress, noticing the small victories that encourage us to keep going. We become more aware of our strengths and weaknesses, and this awareness helps us set meaningful goals. By focusing on areas of improvement, we create a roadmap for growth that's personal and deeply resonant with our values. By making time for reflection, we honor our progress, acknowledging both our achievements and the struggles that came with them. This builds resilience as it reminds us that we have overcome challenges before and can do so again. Each moment of growth, however small, adds to our inner strength, giving us confidence to take on new challenges. Reflection deepens this process, making growth more meaningful by grounding it in a sense of purpose. When we reflect on what we've learned, we gain clarity on what we want to cultivate in our lives moving forward. In a world that often demands constant forward motion, it's easy to lose sight of reflection, treating growth as a race rather than a journey. But true personal growth isn't about reaching a destination quickly. It's about becoming someone we're proud of. Reflection gives us the opportunity to slow down, to make sure we're heading in the right direction, and to adjust our path as needed. It is a lifelong practice that enriches our experiences, deepens our relationships, and strengthens our sense of self. As we continue this journey, we come to see that personal growth and reflection aren't just processes, they are acts of self-compassion and commitment to ourselves. Through them, we become more patient, more understanding, and more willing to embrace the full spectrum of who we are. Personal growth and reflection enable us to create a life that feels true to us, one where we are not just reacting to the world, but actively shaping our path with intention and courage. Silence holds a unique power that is often underestimated in a world full of noise and constant communication. It isn't just the absence of words or sounds, it is an intentional space where we can connect deeply with ourselves, process our thoughts, and gain clarity. Empowering silence is a choice, a commitment to pause amid the rush of life, and listen to what our inner voice has to say. In embracing silence, we give ourselves a rare opportunity to reconnect with our own intuition, creativity, and purpose, untouched by the demands or expectations of others. Silence has a grounding effect, offering a space for reflection and self-awareness. When we're in silence, we strip away distractions, allowing us to think more clearly. It's in these quiet moments that we're able to hear ourselves, our real thoughts, desires, and fears. Often, we rush from one conversation or task to the next, caught up in others' expectations or influenced by societal noise. But silence gives us time to process our own needs and aspirations, helping us to understand our motivations and guiding us back to what truly matters. In this stillness, we often find the answers we seek, as silence provides clarity that can be difficult to access amid the constant chatter of daily life. Empowering silence is also about reclaiming control over what we choose to share with the world. Silence can be a boundary, a deliberate decision not to explain, defend, or justify ourselves to others. In situations where words might complicate or misrepresent our intentions, silence allows us to maintain our integrity and avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. It's a powerful way to express confidence, demonstrating that we don't need external validation to feel secure in our choices. This quiet self-assurance often commands more respect than a lengthy explanation, reminding us that we don't always have to engage or disclose our thoughts to make an impact. Beyond personal clarity, silence also enhances our ability to connect deeply with others. In conversations, moments of silence allow us to listen actively, focusing fully on the other person without the distraction of formulating our next response. This creates space for empathy, allowing us to understand what someone is truly expressing rather than rushing to speak. Silence in dialogue becomes a gift, strengthening bonds and fostering trust as we honor the speaker's words without interruption. By practicing silence, we cultivate patience, openness, and a deeper capacity to understand others without the need to dominate the conversation. Finally, silence invites us to practice mindfulness, helping us to be present in the moment. In our silent moments, we become more aware of our surroundings, sensations, and thoughts, experiencing life with heightened sensitivity. This mindfulness nurtures gratitude as we notice things that might otherwise go unappreciated. Silence helps us tune into the simplicity and beauty of everyday life, fostering a sense of peace and contentment. This presence of mind allows us to approach our challenges and responsibilities with a calm and steady heart, finding joy in the present rather than being distracted by worries about the past or future. Empowering silence, then, is not merely the lack of sound, but a profound practice of intentional listening, reflection, and self-respect. It allows us to grow, to connect, and to create a life that aligns with our inner truths, untouched by the noise around us. In silence, we find a power that isn't loud or imposing, but one that is steady, resilient, and authentically ours.